Good morning, everyone. Today we're talking to you from Gagetown in New Brunswick, Canada. We're going to have some fun today. I'm Caleb Howitt. I'm a fitness and sports instructor here at Gagetown. This is Mike Tabor to my left. This is Tony McLean to my right. They are both my colleagues and work with me here at Gagetown. So we're going to go over a force workup today, which we're going to specify on rushes. Okay, so the whole workout is going to be very specific towards improving your rush component. So today, this is a follow-along video, but you will need to pause the video at certain points to finish the reps and sets. We're going to take you through one set of each section. And then you'll, if it's 4 sets, you'll do 3 sets on your own, or if it's 3 sets, you'll do 2 sets on your own. So you'll need to pause it periodically during the video, but we are gonna have some fun. We're gonna go over some of the warm-up. Not some, we're gonna go through all of it. So first thing on the warm-up is a jog on the spot. So Mike and Tony are gonna start demoing that. So this is just, this is set up so that you can do this at home. For warm-up, you want a good 5 minutes of light aerobic activity. So low intensity, but something that'll get your heart rate up, that'll prepare your body for exercise. It's really great, gets your joints lubricated, gets the blood flowing. It's better for you, it increases power, increases strength with a good 10 to 15 minute warm-up. So they'll jog on the spot for 30 seconds, and then they're gonna move into a lateral shuffle. They'll just go 1 meter side to side, so you guys can switch the lateral shuffle. So just 1 meter side to side, awesome. And you're getting the frontal view and the lateral view here as well. Awesome, so they would just alternate back and forth, 30 and 30, 30 and 30, till you hit 5 minutes. And then we'll go into our more specific dynamic style warm-up. So this is very general, so we'll start moving into the more specific style here in a second. So they've just demoed 1 round. You would do 5 rounds of this. So if you want to pause it right now, go for it, but we're going to move on, okay? So now we're going to move into an arm swing. So we're going to move the arms up overhead and in behind the back. So you're going to see the demo from the side and from the front. So they would move into this for 30 seconds. So all of the exercises in this video are on a 30-second timer, okay? Just for streamline purposes, everything is on a 30-second timer just to make it easier for you. So you see this over the head, in behind the back, over the head, in behind the back. If you want to spend a little more time here, go for it. Then we're gonna do a crossover. So we're gonna bring the arms out to the side and cross them in front of the chest. So you got the frontal view with Tony, you got the side view with Mike. Awesome. So what we're doing is just warming up the shoulder girdle, just getting it prepared, because when we're doing the rushes, that quick push or that fast movement upward, that's an explosive movement of the upper body. So we want our upper body to be nice and warm before we get into any sort of explosive movement. We want to be nice and warm. So that's why we are doing the upper body specific warm up. Awesome. So now we're gonna shift over to the baseline. So if you don't have enough room at home, you can stay right where we are, but I'm gonna get Mike and Tony to shift over to the baseline right now. So just right down here at the bottom. So what they're gonna start off with is a back pedal. So they're gonna turn around, they're gonna sit their bum down, and they're just gonna back pedal to the 10-meter line. You're just gonna see it. I'm just gonna shift sides. You guys can start. Yep. Back pedal to the 10-meter line. So they're going to the other side, and then they're gonna come back. Back pedal. So you can do this at home really easily. You don't need this much space if you don't have it. So keep moving, let's keep moving. Just one more time, guys, thank you. Awesome, yep, turn around, yeah, wonderful. That was awesome, you guys. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is a bear crawl. So you're gonna get down on all fours. You can do a low bear crawl or a high bear crawl, whatever feels more comfortable to you. You're gonna walk out to that 10-meter line and walk back. So if you guys can do that for me, so you can do a low or a high. Tony, can you go up and do a high bear crawl for me? Just show both options. Wonderful, thank you. Nice, so you see, they're moving opposite arm, opposite leg, their core is nice and engaged. It's a really great warm-up or a really great exercise in your conditioning circuits. really good for your mobility, and really good for your upper body strength, and you can really get some good conditioning. What you have to watch out for is your wrists. If your wrists feel kind of tweaky, then just stay in one position and just hold that position. If your wrists aren't feeling great, so just stay in that stationary hold instead of moving through it, because we don't want to cause any undue stress on the wrist joint, because sometimes it can be a little cranky, right? Okay, and then next we're gonna do a hip opener. So we're gonna walk forward, we're gonna bring the hips to the side, I should face the camera, right? Hips to the side, hips to the side. So they're just gonna walk forward, taking a few steps. Awesome. Just opening up the hips. There's a lot of hip movement. We've got to have a lot of mobility to get our leg up close to our body to efficiently get out of that lower position in the rush. So that's why we're warming up the hips, warming up that joint, making sure it's nice and lubricated, because it's a very important joint for the force test, absolutely, before this test. Awesome. So we just showed you outwards, but you can also do inwards. So if you want to pause and do inwards as well, you go for it. But we're gonna move on. So next we're gonna get a little bit more dynamic. So Tony and Mike are just gonna just jog forward at about a 50%. Jog forward and back, forward and back. So running forward and then backpedaling, and backpedaling, yeah. Running forward and backpedaling. And running forward, awesome. And backpedaling, wonderful. So you can do that for a minute or two if you want to get a little bit more warmed up. So we did our general warm up, then we're doing something a little more specific. So last thing, we're going to move a little laterally. We always want to move in a couple different planes for our warm up. We don't want to just move forward and backward. We also want to move side to side. So I'm going to get you guys to do a side shuffle, up and back. Awesome, you can, just one there, guys. Thank you very much. Awesome. Aren't they great? Man, oh man. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is so we've had our nice 10, 15 minute warm up. So next what we're gonna do is 3 sets of sprints. So you're gonna do four times 10 meters. So you're gonna do 4 individual efforts of 10 meters, back to back to back, okay? So I'm just gonna show you how that goes. I know that may be a little confusing, but it's gonna be really simple. Once you get to the end, or once you get to your finish point, that when you cross that 10 meters, you're gonna do something called a stall. So you're gonna, once you get to your line, you're gonna stall, get into your nice athletic stance, you're gonna rotate, boom, and then you'll do your next set, or do your next rep. Sorry, not set, rep. So we're gonna start here. They're gonna set up in their nice sprinter stance, 1 foot behind the other, opposite arm, opposite leg, and then go. So they run to the line, they break down, they stop, and then they rotate. And then when they're ready to go, they start again. They stop, and then they rotate. Stop, and then they rotate. And this is their last one. So you would take, that was four times 10 meters. So you do 4 of those, then take a 90 to 2 minutes of rest, or 90 to 120 seconds of rest. Okay, if you don't have the space, you can get a skipping rope, you can do some hops. We're just trying to make it a little bit more intense. We don't want to go 100%, we want to go about 80. So this is really, very correlated to the test, because you have to run that 10 meters, you have to decelerate. So what we're working on is your ability to stop and be in control. So that's why we had that nice ISO stop at the end. Stop and be in control, right? So make sure you have your timer on, and we're gonna pause here. You guys are gonna do 3 more sets, and then we will continue. Okay, so back, how was that? That wasn't bad, right? So next we're gonna go into our conditioning circuit. We're gonna go, they already came back. These guys are great. Man, oh man. So we're gonna do 4 exercises. So the first one is a hip turn. So we're gonna sit up in a nice athletic stance, hands up, and what we're gonna do is jump, rotate the hips, and rotate back. Rotate the hips, rotate back. So this correlates to when we're coming up to touch the line, right? We're touching that line, and then we're getting down to the floor for our rushes. So this has a high correlation to the speed and the accuracy that we need to touch that line and get back efficiently. So we're gonna do this for 30 seconds. Yeah, let's just do 30 seconds now. We'll do this for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna have the timer on. You got Tony from the anterior view, Mike from the lateral view. Okay, so we're gonna start with that 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome. See, they are doing great. Yeah, awesome. So it's important to remain in control. If we're out of control, we're trying to move too fast. If we're in control of that movement, we're going to get better at it. If we are out of control on that movement, we're gonna digress. It's not gonna be as fluid. So the smoothness of the movement is more important than the intensity. So we want it to be smooth, and then we can crank up the intensity. And that's 30 right there. Awesome. So that's your first exercise. Then you would move right into your next one. Your next one is a lunge. So we're gonna do 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. So we're gonna take that nice big exaggerated step back. We wanna be up on our toe in the back, and we want our full front foot to be on the ground. If our heel starts to come off the ground in the front, that means we took a little bit of a too narrow stance, and we want to kick that front foot out a little bit more. So we want that nice alignment, or both my hips are facing forward. You can just feel the front of the hip bone if they're both in the same position. Want our belly to be nice and tight. So a rep is you lowering your knee almost to the floor and then pressing back up. Okay? We don't want to see the knee coming inward. That can have a lot of negative forces on your knee, so you want your knee lined up right over your foot. Okay? You guys got that? We're gonna do 30 seconds one side, then 30 seconds the other. In 3, 2, 1, go. So we're gonna do this for 30. So why is a lunge important? I'll tell you. Because when we're getting up in the rushes, when we're raising up, when we're on the floor and getting into our sprinter stance, what position is that? So if I'm down on the floor and then I'm pressing up, I'm getting into, this is a lunge. So the stronger I can have that position, the better. So you guys are gonna switch sides in 3, 2, 1, switch sides, right? So that's why we were working on the lunge here, because it directly correlates to your ability to do the 20-meter rushes, okay? So everything in this workout has some sort of correlation to the test. Either mobility, either conditioning, either a strength component, which this is where strengthening that position. So we're almost up on 63, 2, 1, wonderful. So that was your second exercise. Then we'll go directly into our third, is something called a prone hover. So you're gonna be down on your belly. You're gonna start with your hands in behind your head. And what we're gonna do is try to not touch the ground, have our forehead on the ground, have our belly on the ground. If the floor is dirty, you can raise the head a bit, but we want this all to be through the shoulder. So we're gonna take our hands from behind the head to in behind the back. And back and forth we go. So we're gonna do this for 30. So 3, 2, 1, let's begin. Wonderful. So this may look easy, but it actually is quite challenging when you're doing this after an upper body movement, or just if you're doing it for an extended period of time. And if you have poor shoulder mobility, this is gonna really show you how hard this can be. Because if your shoulders are tight, immobile, then it's gonna be way harder to do this without touching the floor. And if you're a superstar, try not to touch your head or your back at all during the 30 seconds. So, and relax there. Then we're gonna get into a all fours position, tabletop, quadruped, whatever you call it. So up into our knees are directly under our hips. Our hands are directly under our shoulders. So for here, we're gonna take one hand and put it on the back of our head and have one hand on the floor. We're going to try to get our elbow to our pinky finger, but our supporting arm does not bend. Okay, so, and then we're trying to get that to the pinky finger, and then we're rotating back up. So we're doing that for 30 seconds. So this is for your thoracic spine, your upper back. It's supposed to rotate, and it's really helpful for running when it rotates, because our whole body is a chain. So this leg connects to this arm, and this leg connects to this arm. So when we walk or run, we move in opposites, because we balance out the body that way. 3, 2, 1. Switch sides, gentlemen. Thank you. Aren't they great? They're amazing. Man, oh man. Yeah, so again, really good upper back mobilization. Really helpful if you're a runner. Really helpful if you have a stiff back or a stiff cervical spine, which is your neck, or a stiff lumbar spine, which is just your lower back. Because if we loosen up something in between the two, right? Because the body doesn't work the body works in tandem. It never works alone. So if you loosen up something in the middle, usually upstream and downstream tend to get better. Okay, gentlemen, you are all good there. So that was circuit 1. So if you want to go back through that, you would do that 3 times. So you would do 2 more sets. So if you want to pause the video and go through those 4 exercises 2 more times, and then you will unpause. So click pause right now. And we're back. Okay, so circuit 2. So circuit 2, what we're gonna do is first exercise is a push-up to pike. So you're gonna get it down on the floor on your belly, hands underneath the shoulders. You can have the feet hip to shoulder width apart. So from here, we will push up. When we're in that push-up straight long position, then we're gonna jump the feet towards the hands. Boom. And then we'll jump the feet back out into that long position and do a push-up. So you would do this for 30 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. Wonderful. So this is just practicing another a form of strength, doing your push-up, and also another form of mobility with jumping the feet towards the hands. Right? It's just another option. The most efficient option of getting out of your push-up is that lunge position, which we were gonna go over in this circuit as well. But we're just working on that, just getting out of that bottom position. Okay, gentlemen, that's good right there, that's 30. So I'm gonna get you to lay down on your backs. So we're gonna get you guys to lay down on your backs, and we're gonna do a glute bridge. So we're gonna bring the heel towards your bum. Awesome, yeah. Just in that position, and we're gonna press the hips up off the floor. We're gonna keep our belly nice and tight. If you wanna add a little bit more attention, you can try to actively grip the floor with your feet. This is gonna activate your legs a little more, activate your glutes. And we're doing this for 30 seconds. If you wanna make it more challenging, there's a bunch of different ways. You can add weight, you can do a bridge curl, you can do a bridge march. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, but we're just gonna stick with the basic bridge right now. So we're holding that position. We're still up. Thank you. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I think that was a little bit more than 30, but that's okay. Okay, so next we're gonna go from a ground to lunge. So it's kind of like the push-up to pike, but we're gonna be in that push-up position again. And we're gonna push up and move into our lunge. So we're gonna move dynamically, kind of like a burpee. You guys can go, yeah, move into that lunge position. So we're moving into that stagger stance. So we're into that sprinter stance, just like we did during our sprints. So down to the floor again, up to that lunge position. Wonderful, just great. You guys do that a few more times. Awesome. So we can alternate feet if you want to, but if you really want to hammer home that your dominant side for this one, so you're really quick out of that sprint, that's okay too. But I do encourage balancing out your exercises, because you want one side to be just as strong as the other. Awesome. So you would do that for 30 seconds as well. Okay, and then right after that, you go into a runner's pose. So down, long leg. You can have the leg up off the floor or down on the ground. So we want to be able to get our knee close to our chest. Why is that important? Because we need to be able to compress when we get into that running position for the rushes, right? Okay, and so just to show you, we're down on the floor here. I bring the leg up, boom. I'm right into that position. Right? So I want to be able to transition from that bottom position into that running position. If my mobility is better, then I'm gonna have less in the way and more movement available, right? And if you can't get your hands over your leg, you can always move the 2 hands in between, right? The wider the leg out, the easier this is on your mobility, the closer in, the harder or more challenging it is on your mobility. So we're gonna switch sides there, gentlemen. Switch sides, yeah, awesome. Yeah. Just working on the mobility piece. You can always drop the back knee if you want, or pick it up in that long position. Wonderful. Yeah. So we just got about 15 more seconds here. Yeah. Hope you guys are having a good time. We're having fun here, I can tell you that. Yeah, just mobility is very important. And that's the 30 right there, wonderful. So if you want to do your 2 more sets of that, that was 1. If you want to do 2 more sets, then go for it, pause the video right now. And then we come back, right? So now we're here. We're gonna do our cool down now. So cool down is good with 3 to 5 minutes of light aerobic activity. So like if you're in a small space, you can just do a forward backward walk. So walking forward, walking backward. And so we want to do this for 3 to 5 minutes. The reason why is we want our heart rate to come down slowly. We don't want it to just drop, because that can cause something called blood pooling, and it can increase, without a cool down, it increases your trigger points, increases those knots in your muscles that get really uncomfortable when you work on them with a lacrosse ball, or a massage therapist really digs into them. So it decreases those if you have a proper cool down as well. So once you've done your 3 to 5 minutes, if you can pause this video to do your 3 to 5 right there. Okay, so next what we're gonna get into is a quad, hamstring, and pec stretch, okay? We're not gonna do all of them at the same time. So quad stretch, you've probably seen this before, bringing our heel in towards our bum, and we want our leg lined up with the other, okay? So we don't wanna be out to the side like this. We wanna be all lined up, okay? I want my heel right into my glute, and if I can reach both hands around, that's even better. And we can also do this in a laying position on the ground, or a standing position. If you're feeling a little dizzy, just like Mike's demoing right here, yeah. So you just pick your poison, choose whichever. We'll switch sides now. Nice work. Yeah, so we did a lot of quad work today. The lunges are very quad dominant. All the jumping around, the static position, the sprinting, very anterior dominant. So we want to make sure that that is nice and relaxed, and just brought back into a proper alignment before we go on with the rest of our day. Awesome, we can let that go. We're gonna do our hamstring stretch now. So we're gonna bend one leg, straighten out the other, and then shift the hips forward. I mean, not hips forward, shift the hips back. Bring the belly button down towards our foot. So we'll hold this position, stretching our hamstring. When we decelerate, that's very hamstring oriented. We're slowing down. It works in tandem. Well, it's the opposite muscle, so it does the opposite movement as the quad. So when we slow down, that's really hamstring dominant. So we want to make sure that those are nice and relaxed, because doing all that deceleration can be a lot of impact if we're moving at a good clip. So guys, you can switch sides if you haven't already. You can switch sides. Oh, you already did? Okay, never mind. I'm in behind. I'm behind you guys. I can't even see them, right? You can, but I can't. Awesome. So last thing, we're gonna do a pec stretch. We're not gonna do this lying down, we're gonna do it standing. So we're gonna take our hands, put them behind our back, press the hands down, pull the shoulders back. We wanna keep our abs nice and tight, abs pulled down. We don't wanna be overextended through the belly and the back. We want everything nice and tight in, okay? Oh yeah, and we'll just stretch this. We did a lot of pressing off the floor today because that is very applicable to the rushes, right? But it tends to tighten up the pec muscles. Gets a little bit of the lats in there because that's also a shoulder internal rotator. So we're just pulling the shoulders back and getting that nice pec stretch. So all these stretches, you want to hold for around 30 seconds to a minute. 30 seconds is great. just to create that relaxation effect of the, just in the muscle, in the GTO and the muscle spindles. Awesome. No, stretch reflex, sorry. I'm getting confused. Okay, so that is the workout for today. Thank you all for showing up, and thank you all for clicking pause and then clicking play again. Love that. I will see you guys again in our next video. From all of us here at PSP Gagetown, have a nice day.